unlimited drama series.
Chapter 1. The Burner Phone. I found Harper's burner phone at 2 in the morning, wedged between the couch cushions like a dirty little secret that couldn't wait to be discovered. She'd left for Hawaii 3 days ago. Business trip, she'd said, kissing my cheek with those perfectly glossed lips. Evan's yacht. Networking opportunity. Evan read, the crypto guy, the tech bro with more money than sense, the walking cliche in designer sneakers, who'd been circling my wife like a shark for months. I'm Simon Blake, real estate broker, former contractor, the guy who built our waterfront home with his own hands. The safe option, apparently. The phone buzzed in my palm. A text from Violet, Harper's best friend and professional chaos agent. Did he buy the Hawaii story? LOL. You're terrible. Harper's response, sent yesterday, Simon, please. He's just a safe option until I figure things out. Evan's got the yacht, the penthouse, the connections. I'm done playing house with a glorified handyman. My chest went cold. Not hot with rage. Cold, like someone had opened a freezer door in my ribcage. I scrolled. More texts, voice notes, a video I immediately regretted watching but couldn't stop. Harper and Evan on what I recognized as his yacht, doing things that made my stomach turn. Her laugh, that musical sound I'd fallen for 10 years ago, now mocking me through tiny speakers. But it wasn't just the affair. It never is with people like Harper. There were business discussions, plans to move my real estate assets into a shell company, conversations about managing Simon's perception and keeping him calm until the paperwork clears, screenshots of our bank accounts, my client lists, everything I'd built, cataloged, and priced like items at an estate sale. The sun came up. I made coffee. I copied every file, every text, every humiliating second of video onto 3 separate drives. Then I went to work. Max, my business partner, took one look at my face and poured whiskey into my coffee. What happened? Harper's leaving me for the crypto guy. After she steals everything I own. Jesus, Simon. It gets better. She called me a safe option, a placeholder, the human equivalent of a savings account. Max whistled low. What are you going to do? I smiled. It felt wrong on my face, like trying on someone else's expression. I'm going to stop being safe. Harper returned that evening, tanned and radiant, smelling like expensive sunscreen and betrayal. She kissed me like nothing had changed, like I was still the oblivious husband playing his role. How was Hawaii? I asked. Amazing. You should have seen the sunset from Evan's yacht. We closed the Orlansky deal. She's going to let me plan her daughter's wedding. 6-figure contract, Simon. I'm finally breaking into the big leagues. That's wonderful, honey. I handed her a glass of wine. You must be exhausted. She settled onto the couch, our couch, the one I'd custom built, and started scrolling through her phone. The real one. I waited until she was mid-sip. Oh, I found something of yours. I dropped the burner phone into her wine glass. The red liquid splashed across her white blouse. She jumped up, shrieking, What the hell, Simon? Oops. Looks like things are getting wet. I kept my voice flat, conversational. Funny thing about burner phones, they're only secret if you remember where you left them. Her face went through a remarkable transformation. Shock, fear, calculation, then finally settling on indignant anger. You went through my phone? I went through your other phone, the one with all the interesting content. The yacht videos were particularly enlightening. Simon, I can explain. I'm sure you can. You're excellent at managing perceptions, after all. That's what you told Evan, right? That you're keeping me calm until the paperwork clears? I leaned against the kitchen counter, arms crossed. What paperwork would that be, Harper? She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. You're having an affair with a crypto bro, planning to steal my business assets. And apparently I'm just a safe option until you figure out your next move. I smiled. Well, guess what? The safe option just became the wild card. You can't prove anything. I held up my phone, showing her the cloud storage confirmation. Actually, I can prove everything. Every text, every call, every video, backed up in 3 locations. But don't worry. I'm not going to the police. That would be too easy. Then what are you going to do? Her voice shook just slightly. I haven't decided yet, but I'm thinking it's going to be fun. She tried to grab my phone. I stepped back, laughing. Actually, laughing. That's not how this works anymore, Harper. You wanted to play games? Let's play. She left that night, probably to Evan's penthouse. I didn't care. I had work to do. Mrs. Flint, our elderly neighbor, watched from her window as Harper's car screeched out of the driveway. She'd be gossiping by morning. Perfect. I poured myself a real drink and started planning. Chapter 2. The underdog bites back. The thing about revenge is that it requires patience. Harper had spent months setting up her betrayal. I'd give myself weeks to dismantle her life. Step 1. Social sabotage. Harper's entire career depended on her image. Perfect wife, successful event planner, social media darling, with 15,000 followers who hung on her every carefully filtered post. She'd built a brand around elegance and trustworthiness. I started small. I accidentally tagged her in old photos, the ones from college where she looked less polished. I liked and commented on posts from her ex-boyfriend, the one she'd told everyone was a stalker. I sent anonymous tips to her clients' assistants. Did you know Harper Lane is taking investment advice from Evan Red, the crypto guy? Might want to Google his SEC violations. Evan Red, it turned out, had a fascinating history. 3 failed startups, 2 lawsuits, 1 very quiet settlement with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Nothing criminal, but enough to make wealthy clients nervous. Max helped me spread rumors at the Anchor Bar, where Harper's clients and their assistants gathered for happy hour. I heard she's getting kickbacks from that crypto guy, he'd say, just loud enough. Something about offshore accounts. The rumors spread like oil on water. Mrs. Orlansky called Harper on Tuesday. I know because Harper called me hysterical. She's pulling the wedding contract. 6 figures, Simon. She says she's heard concerning things about my business practices. That's terrible, I said, not meaning it. What kind of things? I don't know. Something about Evan and crypto scams and... Simon, you have to help me fix this. Why would I help you, Harper? Silence then, because you're a good person. I used to be. You cured me of that. I hung up. Step 2. Physical revenge. Evan drove a cherry red Tesla, which he parked illegally at the marina every morning while he pretended to work on his yacht. I called in a favor with Danny, a marina worker I'd helped with a property purchase last year. That Tesla in spot 42? The owner's been harassing the female staff, I said. Might be time for it to get towed. Danny grinned. Say no more. I watched from behind a dumpster as the tow truck arrived. Evan came running out of the marina office, designer coffee in hand, screaming about his car. He actually jumped up and down. A 35-year-old man in $200 sneakers, having a tantrum. I filmed it, posted it anonymously to a local Reddit forum. Crypto Bro loses his mind at marina. It got 3,000 upvotes in 2 hours. I left a note on the impound lot's clipboard, where Evan would see it when he came to retrieve his car. Safe options don't park here. That night, Harper showed up at the house. Our house. Technically still our house. Though I'd already consulted a lawyer about that. What are you doing? She demanded. Evan says you're harassing him. I haven't spoken to Evan. If his car got towed, that's between him and the marina. The note, Simon. Safe options don't park here. That's what I called you. Did you? I don't remember. Maybe you should be more careful about what you say on unsecured phones. I smiled. Or maybe Evan should learn to park legally. This isn't funny. You're right, it's hilarious. She tried a different approach, softening her voice. Simon, we can fix this. We can go to counseling. I made a mistake. You made a calculated decision. Multiple calculated decisions. You planned to steal my business, Harper. That's not a mistake. That's a crime. I have the texts. The shell company paperwork. Everything. I stepped closer. You want it out? Fine. But you don't get to take everything I built on your way out the door. What do you want? I want you to feel what I felt. That cold moment when you realize the person you trusted most in the world sees you as a placeholder, a safe option, a stepping stone. Her eyes narrowed. You can't destroy me, Simon. I have friends, connections. Had friends, had connections. Check your Instagram. She pulled out her phone. Her face went pale. What did you do? I didn't do anything. I just made sure certain information became public. Like how you've been giving investment advice without a license. How you've been accepting kickbacks from vendors. How your networking trip to Hawaii was actually a romantic getaway with a man under SEC investigation. That's slander. It's truth. There's a difference. I opened the door. You should go. I have work to do. I'll destroy you, she hissed. You already tried. Now it's my turn. After she left, I got an anonymous message. Unknown number. I have information about Harper you'll want to see. Meet me at the Anchor Bar tomorrow, 8 p.m. Come alone. I showed Max. He frowned. Could be a trap. Or it could be someone else Harper screwed over. I grinned. Either way, it sounds like fun. Chapter 3. Escalation. The Anchor Bar smelled like salt water and bad decisions. I arrived at 8 sharp, scanning the crowd. Violet sat in a corner booth, looking nervous. Harper's best friend. The one who'd helped her mock me. I almost walked out. Wait, she called. Please, I have something you need to see. I sat down, keeping my distance. Why would you help me? Because Harper threw me under the bus. Violet's perfectly made-up face cracked slightly. Mrs. Orlansky called me. Asked if I knew about Harper's financial irregularities. Harper told her I was the one who suggested working with Evan. She's making me the scapegoat. And you're surprised? She's been using people her entire life. I know. Violet pulled out her phone. I have videos from the Hawaii trip. Things Harper doesn't know I recorded. Why were you recording? Insurance. Harper and I have been friends since college. I know how she operates. I always keep insurance. She slid the phone across the table. This is from their last night on the yacht. I pressed play. Harper and Evan, drunk, laughing about their plan. Simon's so trusting, Harper slurred. He'll sign anything I put in front of him. By the time he realizes what's happening, the house will be in the shell company, and we'll be in the Cayman Islands. Evan, what about the business? Harper, Max is loyal to Simon, not the company. We'll force him out, sell the client list, disappear. Simon will be left with nothing. They laughed. They actually laughed. I handed the phone back, my hands shaking. Not with anger, with purpose. Send me that video. Already done. I sent you everything. Violet leaned forward. There's more. Harper's been skimming from her clients. Small amounts, stuff she thought they wouldn't notice. But Mrs. Orlansky's accountant is good. They're starting to ask questions. How much are we talking? Maybe 50,000, spread across a dozen clients over 2 years. I whistled. That's fraud. Yeah. And if it comes out, she's done. But here's the thing. Evan knows. He's been helping her hide it. They're in this together. Why are you telling me this? Because Harper's going to blame me when it all falls apart. She's already started. I need her to go down before she takes me with her. Violet's eyes hardened. And because what she did to you was cruel, even for her. I left the bar with a flash drive full of evidence and a plan forming in my mind. That night, I followed Harper to the marina. She met Evan on his yacht, and I watched from the shadows as they argued on the deck. The Orlansky deal fell through, Harper shouted, and Simon knows everything. So what? He can't prove anything. He has the burner phone. Then we move faster. Get him to sign the property transfer papers. Tell him it's for tax purposes. Once the house is in the company, we liquidate and disappear. He's not that stupid. He married you, didn't he? Harper slapped him. Evan grabbed her wrist. They struggled, and for a moment I thought about intervening. Then Harper kneed him in the groin and he collapsed. Don't ever talk to me like that, she snarled. I waited until she stormed off, then followed Evan as he limped to his Tesla. I'd parked my truck behind it, blocking him in. Simon, He tried to sound confident. Failed. What are you doing here? We need to talk. I don't think I slammed him against his car. Not hard enough to hurt, just hard enough to make a point. You're going to listen. You and Harper plan to steal my house, my business, everything I've built. You called me stupid, a safe option. It was just talk. It was conspiracy to commit fraud. I leaned closer. I have videos, Evan. Audio recordings, text messages, everything. And I know about your SEC violations, the settlement you're not supposed to talk about, the investors you screwed over in San Francisco. His face went white. You can't prove? I can prove all of it, and I will unless you do exactly what I say.
Your intern filed this, then withdrew it. What did you promise her?
It was consensual.
She's 23 years old!
Watch more on Grammarly.com.
What do you want? I want you to break up with Harper, publicly, messily. I want you to tell everyone she was using you for your money and connections. I want you to destroy her reputation the way she tried to destroy my life. She'll ruin me. She's already ruining you. At least this way you might survive. I stepped back. You have 24 hours? If I don't see a very public breakup by tomorrow night, I'm sending everything I have to the SEC, the IRS, and every financial journalist in New England. I moved my truck and drove away, leaving him shaking in the parking lot. The next evening, Evan posted a long Instagram story. I've been manipulated by someone I thought I could trust. Harper Lane used me for my connections and money while planning to defraud her own clients. I have evidence of her financial crimes, and I'm cooperating with authorities. To everyone she's hurt. I'm sorry I didn't see through her sooner. My phone rang immediately. Harper screaming so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. What did you do? What did you say to him? I told him the truth, that you're a liar and a thief. He's lying. You did. And I have proof. Violet gave me everything, Harper. Every video, every conversation, every penny you stole from your clients. Silence. Then, quietly, Violet, your best friend, the one you were planning to blame for everything. She got smart before you could throw her under the bus. I'll deny everything. You can try. But Mrs. Orlansky's accountant is already looking into the discrepancies. And when they find the offshore account Evan helped you set up, it's over. You bastard. No, Harper. I'm just not safe anymore. She hung up. I poured myself a drink and waited for the next move. Chapter 4. The Showdown. Harper tried to run. I found out from Max, who heard it from Danny at the marina. She'd booked a flight to the Cayman Islands, one way, leaving in 3 days. She's liquidating everything, Max said. Cleaning out your joint accounts, selling her jewelry, even trying to get a second mortgage on the house. Can she do that? Not without your signature, but she's desperate. I called my lawyer. File for divorce today and freeze all joint assets. That'll take a few days. We don't have a few days. She's trying to flee the country. He made some calls. By evening, every account was frozen. Harper couldn't access a penny without a court order. She showed up at the house at midnight, pounding on the door. I let her in. You froze the accounts? She looked wild, her hair messy, makeup smeared. How am I supposed to live? You should have thought of that before you tried to steal everything I own. I need money, Simon. I have bills, rent on my new apartment. Get a job. You're destroying me. I'm protecting myself. There's a difference. I handed her an envelope. Divorce papers. Sign them. She threw the envelope at me. I'm not signing anything. Then enjoy being broke. The accounts stay frozen until the divorce is final. And I'm pushing for a full audit of your business finances. You can't do this. I already did. She tried to hit me. I caught her wrist, gently but firmly. Don't. You're angry, I get it. But violence won't help you. I hate you. I know. But you hated me when you loved me too. You just hid it better. I released her wrist. Leave, Harper, before I call the police. She left, sobbing. I felt nothing. The next day, I got a call from Mrs. Orlansky's lawyer. Mr. Blake, we're investigating Ms. Lane's financial practices. We understand you have information that might be relevant. I sent them everything. Videos, texts, bank records. showing the offshore account. By evening, Harper had 3 lawsuits pending and a criminal investigation underway. Violet called me. Harper's telling everyone you're framing her, that you fabricated evidence because you're jealous of Evan. Let her talk. The evidence speaks for itself. She's planning something, Simon. I don't know what, but she's desperate. Be careful. I was careful. I installed security cameras around the house, changed the locks, told Max to watch his back, but I didn't expect what happened next. Harper and Evan held a press conference. Actual press. Local news, newspapers, even a few bloggers. They stood in front of Evan's penthouse, looking like victims. Simon Blake has been harassing and stalking us, Harper said, crying on cue. He's fabricated evidence, spread lies, and threatened Evan with violence. We're filing for restraining orders and pressing charges for assault and defamation. Evan held up his phone. We have video evidence of Simon attacking me at the marina. He slammed me against my car and threatened to destroy my business unless I broke up with Harper. I watched the news coverage from my living room, stunned. They'd edited the marina footage, cutting out the part where I explained what they'd done. In their version, I looked like a jealous, violent husband. My phone exploded with messages. Clients asking if the allegations were true, friends wanting to know my side. Even Mrs. Flint knocked on my door, concerned. Max came over with whiskey. This is bad, Simon. They're lying. I know, but they're convincing. Harper's always been good at playing the victim. I have the original footage, the unedited version. Then we need to release it, now, before this narrative takes hold. I called Violet. I need your help. Anything. Can you get Harper to talk? On camera? Get her to admit what she really did? She won't talk to me. She knows I gave you the videos. Then we'll make her talk. I have an idea. I organized a settlement meeting at the waterfront park, neutral territory with witnesses. I invited Harper, Evan, Mrs. Orlansky, her lawyer, and several of Harper's former clients. I told them I wanted to make a public apology and offer restitution. Harper couldn't resist. She showed up with Evan, both dressed like they were attending a funeral. Somber, dignified, ready to accept my surrender. The park was crowded. Families, joggers, tourists. Perfect. I'd set up a small PA system, ostensibly for my apology. Harper and Evan sat in the front row, surrounded by their audience. I stepped up to the microphone. Thank you all for coming. I asked you here today because I want to set the record straight about my marriage, Harper's business practices, and what really happened between us. Harper smiled, thinking she'd won. I pressed play on my phone, connected to the PA system. Her voice echoed across the park. Simon's so trusting. He'll sign anything I put in front of him. By the time he realizes what's happening, the house will be in the shell company, and we'll be in the Cayman Islands. Evan's voice. What about the business? Harper. We'll force Max out, sell the client list, disappear. Simon will be left with nothing. Their laughter rang out over the speakers. Harper jumped up. That's fake! He edited that! I played another clip. Violet's video from the yacht, showing Harper and Evan planning the fraud in detail. Then, the texts about the shell company. Then, the bank records showing the offshore account. Mrs. Orlansky stood up. Now you stole from me. I can explain. You stole from all of us. Another client, a woman whose daughter's wedding Harper had planned. $50,000, spread across a dozen people. We trusted you. Harper tried to run. I stepped in front of her. You want it out? Here's the door. But you're not taking anything with you except the consequences of what you've done. I handed her an envelope. Evidence packets. Already sent to your clients, the IRS, the state licensing board, and the district attorney. You're done, Harper. Professionally, financially, socially, done. Evan tried to defend her. You can't prove... I accidentally bumped him. He stumbled backward into the park fountain, soaking his designer suit. The crowd laughed. Still feeling safe? I asked. Violet was live streaming everything. Harper's meltdown, Evan's humiliation, the clients confronting them both. By evening, it had 50,000 views. Harper screamed at me, mascara running down her face. I'll take everything you have left. You already did. Now I'm just returning the favor. The police arrived not for me, but because someone had called about the disturbance. They took statements from Mrs. Orlansky and the other clients. By the time they left, Harper and Evan were facing multiple lawsuits and a criminal investigation. I walked home alone, feeling lighter than I had in months. Chapter 5. The Final Move. It wasn't over. Harper was desperate, and desperate people do dangerous things. Violet called me at 3 a.m. "Simon, you need to see this." She sent me a video file. Harper and Evan in his penthouse, planning their final move. They doctored footage of our confrontations, making it look like I'd assaulted Evan multiple times. They were planning to file criminal charges, get me arrested, then use my incarceration to seize control of the house and business. "They're going to the police tomorrow morning," Violet said. "They have a lawyer, fake witnesses, everything. Simon, they're going to frame you." I sat in the dark thinking. Harper had always been 3 steps ahead, but she'd made one mistake. She'd underestimated how many people she'd hurt over the years. I spent the rest of the night making calls. Mrs. Orlansky, her lawyer, the other clients Harper had defrauded, Danny from the marina, even Mrs. Flint, who'd been watching everything from her window. By morning, I had a plan. I called Harper. "We need to talk. Your place or mine? Stay away from me. I have something you want. The original files. The ones that prove you didn't steal from your clients. You're lying. Maybe. Come to Evan's penthouse at noon. Bring your lawyer. Let's end this." She agreed, probably thinking it was a trap. She was right. I arrived at Evan's building at 11:30. The lobby was full of people. Mrs. Orlansky and her lawyer, Harper's former clients, several reporters I'd tipped off, and Detective Sarah Mitchell from the Financial Crimes Unit. Harper and Evan walked in at noon, confident. They saw the crowd and froze. "What is this?" Harper demanded. "This is the truth." I held up a flash drive. Original unedited footage from the marina, audio recordings from the yacht, bank records showing the offshore account, text messages proving you planned to frame me for assault. Detective Mitchell stepped forward. "Ms. Lane, Mr. Red, we need to ask you some questions about financial fraud and conspiracy. We have evidence that Simon assaulted," Evan started. I played the original marina footage on my phone, loud enough for everyone to hear. My voice. "You and Harper plan to steal my house, my business, everything I've built." Evan's voice. "It was just talk." My voice. "It was conspiracy to commit fraud." Then the part they'd edited out. Me explaining exactly what they'd done with dates, amounts, and details. "You edited this footage," I told the crowd. "Made it look like I attacked Evan for no reason. But the original shows I was defending myself against theft and fraud." Harper's lawyer tried to intervene. "My clients have rights." "Your clients are criminals," Mrs. Orlansky said. "They stole from me, from all of us." The reporters were filming everything. Harper's face went from confident to terrified in seconds. Evan tried to run. I didn't stop him, but Danny did. The marina worker grabbed his arm. "Not so fast, crypto boy. You owe me $200 for that towing fee you never paid." The crowd laughed. Evan jerked free, stumbled, and knocked over a decorative table in the lobby. His phone and wallet scattered across the floor. I picked up his phone. "Detective, you might want to see this. Text messages between Evan and Harper, planning to frame me, including a conversation from this morning about how to make the assault charges stick." Detective Mitchell took the phone. "Mr. Red, Ms. Lane, you're both going to need to come to the station." "We haven't done anything wrong," Harper shrieked. "You committed fraud, conspiracy, and attempted to file false police reports," the detective said. "That's 3 felonies, minimum." Harper looked at me, really looked at me, for the first time in months. "Why are you doing this?" "Because you called me a safe option. Because you tried to take everything I built. Because you laughed about it." I stepped closer. "You wanted to know what happens when the safe option stops playing safe? This is what happens." The police took them both away. The reporters followed, shouting questions. Mrs. Orlansky and her lawyer collected the evidence files I'd prepared. Violet appeared beside me. "You did it." "We did it. You gave me the ammunition." "What happens now?" "Now? Harper faces fraud charges, loses her business license, probably goes to prison. Evan loses his assets, his reputation, everything. and I rebuild my life without them. That's it? That's it, I smiled. Sometimes revenge isn't about destruction. It's about justice. I walked out of the building into bright sunshine. My phone buzzed with messages, clients offering support, friends checking in, even a few reporters wanting interviews. But I ignored them all. I drove to the waterfront, to the home I'd built with my own hands, and sat on the dock watching the boats. Harper had called me safe, predictable, a placeholder. She'd been wrong about one thing. Safe doesn't mean weak. It means smart enough to build something worth protecting. And when someone tries to take that away, safe becomes dangerous. I thought about the look on Harper's face when the police took her away. The shock, the betrayal, the realization that she'd underestimated me from the beginning. Funny thing about safe options. They're only safe until you play with fire. And tonight, I'd lit the match.